So I'll just give a little introduction about myself while we're getting that started. Um, I am originally from New York City. For those who aren't aware, I was born and raised in New York City. Moved to the Atlanta, Georgia area in 2021. No, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, 1997. Oh gosh, I've been here for almost 30 years, longer than more than half my life. Been here for a very, very long time. I don't know why I said 20, but I was pretty much raised a non-believer, was raised in the Black conscious community, learned a lot about Black history, culture growing up. And I really do pay homage to the unrecognized Black freethinkers that people were not aware of previously, and who we are still providing information on. So salute to those who came before we. Salute to those who came before us, because your work does not go unrecognized and it is appreciated. So there is a foundation, especially among the Black demographic, that definitely predates the work that I have done. And I think that is important for all of us to know. I got involved in 2011 by starting Black Nonbelievers and again continuing our partnership, serving on the various boards within the secular community. And again, we are a member organization with the Secular Coalition for America. And yes, I am a member of the Godless Gospel Ensemble, which is a production of the Freedom of Religion Foundation. A shout out to Dane Parker and Annie Laurie Gaylor and everyone who works on this project with me. I've also received a few awards over the years. I was named the Unitarian Universalist Humanist Association's Person of the Year in 2018. I was named the Freedom from Religion Foundation's Freethought Heroine and received the Secular Student Alliance's Backbone Award in 2019. I was the co-recipient of the Harvard Humanist of the Year Award in 2020. And I was actually the first Black woman or the first person of color to receive the Irving and Annabelle Wilson Award in 2022, which is awarded by the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Worcester, Massachusetts. So I always say that I did not get involved in this community for the recognition, but it is nice when it comes. The gentleman that you see here on the screen and the screen on Zoom as well as in person. I continue my activism. The last time I was standing in full capacity on the stage was in tribute to Gene Taylor, who was a beloved member of Black Nonbelievers as well as the Atlanta Freethought Society. He passed away suddenly in 2022. He was like a father to me. I miss him dearly, and I know that many of you here miss him as well. You may have seen him in pictures in the AFS photos. He was an avid and outspoken atheist, avid and outspoken motorcyclist, and was just so very, very special and near and dear to all of us. So, as a community, we do commemorate those who have passed on. And I definitely continue to do this in loving memory of Gene. We miss him dearly. And we had the opportunity to commemorate him in a memorial in this very building 2 years ago. And we miss him so much. Next slide, please. So here are a few highlights from 2024 with Black Nonbelievers. So we have remained busy, and our new tagline is building back better. We've had the opportunity to have to do some reorganization and some rebuilding in the past couple of years. And in doing so, we have welcomed two new board members. Chris Cameron, the author of Black Freethinkers. If you aren't familiar with his work, I highly recommend looking him up. As well as Derek Colanduno, whom some of you may be familiar with. He is local to the Atlanta area. He is the director of the Scat Track at Dragon Con, and he is a part of our board now. So we welcome him. We have updated our organizational bylaws. Chris and Derek joined Deanna Williams, who joined our board last year, and Lisa Dyer, who is a day one board member. And we got together and updated our organizational bylaws, as every organization, a nonprofit organization, needs to do. And so we took on the task of doing that, and those are available on our website so that you can see outlined our mission, how we are going about our governance with the organization and improving on the work that we do. We also welcomed Edith Gray as a co-host for our YouTube live stream show titled In the Cut. I will discuss where you can find that later on in the program. We co-hosted the Can Be Taught series on end of life preparation with Compassionate Choices, who has been another partner with us. We also represented on major programs this year, such as Middle Ground. How many of you are familiar with Jubilee Media online? They are a YouTube. It was interesting because I had only heard of them when I was contacted about this program. So they have close to 9 million subscribers on YouTube, and they host a series of shows. One of the most popular, which is called Middle Ground, and it's more popular among younger people. It is where the producers put people from two sides of an issue together in the same room and the answer questions. And so there was an episode titled Black Christians versus Black Atheists. And so I was one of the Black atheists that was featured on this program. And it has reached over 1 million views since Easter Sunday when it debuted this year. Quite the, yes, quite the debut. So yes, it has now over 1 million views. And also we had the opportunity, Edith represented on a show called Across Generations with former MSNBC host Tiffany Cross. She is also the co-host of the Native Land podcast with Angela Wright and former Florida politician Andrew Gillett, who famously ran for Florida governor the same year that Stacey Abrams did. And this is back in 2020. This is a podcast which features primarily Black women from different generations, and Edith represented the Black atheist woman's perspective. And during the show, she made a very, very iconic, very powerful quote. She said something very powerful. She said, Jesus was thrown under the bus so that God could get clout. And interestingly enough, we turned that into a shirt, which I am wearing, and that we also have on our merchandise table over here. And that is also available on our website. So that was just a short plug for now. But we had to turn that into something that could help benefit our organization and the community, because what she said, her appearance on that show was absolutely fantastic, but it really rattles some cages, which we love, and sometimes we have to do. So with that being said, yes, we also achieved youth monetization with the recent debate that I did with Christian evangelist Ken Cohen. Some of you may be familiar with him. Yes. I went down to his Dinosaur Adventureland facility, and I was originally supposed to stay there for 2 days, and I only spent the same for one. Because of the very nature of the facility, it was quite unsettling. So I ended up leaving early, but I did the debate. And because we were allowed to simulcast it on our YouTube channel, not only gave us the hours that we needed to achieve monetization. So whenever we go live or whenever you watch our videos, you can donate to us through there, or you can send a super chat to us. So, which was something that we have been working on for a while. So thank you, Christian, evangelism, for that. And then also, we have been partnering on the Person Scholarship with the Secular Student Alliance for the past 4 years. And our 2024 winner, this year's winner, is a high school student, David Anezi, who identifies as LGBTQ plus. And of course, the Hurston Scholarship is named after famed freethinker Zora Neale Hurston. And if you are familiar with her work, we encourage you to read one of my favorite books ever, Is Their Eyes Were Watching God? And very, very phenomenal and powerful story. Next slide, please. Yeah. So now we come to BNCCon 2024, which we just finished. We just concluded a few days ago. And this took place aboard the Independence of the Seas with Royal Caribbean. We always have a lineup of speakers that, that we, excuse me, we always have a full lineup of speakers and we have a full program. So here are just a few pictures of this is the group photo. Everyone who attended is not pictured, but as you can see, we had a very robust group of folks who traveled with us from around the country. There was one young lady who read about us and heard about the event on Reddit and came from Portland, Oregon to travel and sail with us. We always sail out of Miami, Florida. And our ports of call this year were La Medicatine, which is a Royal Caribbean port, and also Falmouth, Jamaica, which is near Montego Bay. And it was just such a fantastic time. There was a lot of fun involved, but there was also a lot of education. There was a lot of community building. There was a lot of activism, a lot of encouragement on how people can become better versions of themselves as non-believers, as well as how to get more involved and active, and also just meeting and traveling and cruising with like-minded individuals. There is something very, very significant about that. And the ship had a conference center, and as you can see, our trustee sign there. And there are just a few pictures of how we congregated our materials that we produce as the organization. We do have some programs that if you'd like to take a look and to see how we structure it, you can do so. One of our speakers this year was Dr. Teddy Reeves from the National Museum for African American Culture. And I'm very, very proud to inform you of their first feature documentary called God Talk, which follows the lives of 7 Black millennials from 7 different faith and non-faith perspectives. And following Q research on how the nuns are growing, and this does include in Black communities. There was specifically one of Black atheists who was featured, and I had the opportunity to be interviewed for this film and featured in it, as well as some of our members, and also Dr. Tony Penn, who released the book, The Practice of Black Disbelief this year. It is the first, I'm very, very proud that in being featured in this documentary, that we have achieved an institutional status, meaning that we are now inducted into the Smithsonian, which of course is historical and institutional, and we are providing the framework for what Black non-religious community may look like. So we are paving the way for our votes, which is beneficial to everyone in this room, everyone on this Zoom, and just everyone in general. So I'm very, very proud of that. And he has such a fantastic time with us. He isn't necessarily an atheist, but in understanding how pluralism should work, especially religious pluralism, we really appreciate how they were able to incorporate atheism in this feature. And it will be available publicly on YouTube in February of next year. So it will be available for you to watch and feature if you would like to show it. And if you'd like the opportunity to have me come back, actually talk about it more, we can do that as well. So we are really, really gaining some ground here, which I'm very, very proud of. And I hope that you all are as well. Thanks a lot, please. So what we are facing in 2025. So the world, the entire world has watched this election, and many of us watched in dismay um, the results from November 5th. And we are now seeing the transition process and what we are now looking forward to, or what we are seeing, which is somewhat of a repeat of 2016 going into 2017, but somehow worse. Because when the Secular Coalition for America, we partnered with them on spreading awareness about stopping Project 2025, which was the brainchild of the Heritage Foundation and other very conservative Christian organizations who are looking to spread Christian nationalism in public policy and the federal government. And what we are facing in this political time is definitely potential political attacks on non-religious people and our organizations. There's already talk about how this new administration can impact our organizations, especially as 501c3s. So we definitely need to be vigilant and be watching that. Also, threats to people's livelihoods, their income, housing, assistance, and more. The previous Trump administration they gutted many social programs for people. And of course, we saw the response to the pandemic, in which so many people here died unnecessarily. Um, it promises to be a lot worse because now they are looking to gut federal jobs, which directly affects my household. Because my spouse has been a federal employee for over 30 years. And so the way we know this person runs their businesses, and they're trying to run the federal government the same way, we definitely need to be on the lookout for that because there are definitely more, there's definitely more at stake here. And again, Christian nationalism damaging our democracy. We already saw the overturning of Roe versus Wade, which conservatives have been working on since that law was enacted. And unfortunately, they got what they wanted. And we are seeing the eroding of reproductive health, economic health, definitely racial justice. And so there is an attempt to roll back this clock and definitely pushing white supremacy and what it means for white men. And let's just be honest about that. We have to be honest about what that means for our demographics that are further marginalized. And we have to remain vigilant. So this is what we are facing, but we don't want this to be all doom and gloom because there is still a lot that, as what is considered ordinary individuals, we have the opportunity to, we still have an opportunity to come together and fight, lobby lobby our representatives, become civically engaged and involved, even in the smallest ways. This is going to be extremely, extremely important. And there were a lot of victories on local levels. We saw more. We saw trans people elected into, into public office. We saw more people of color, more women. And so it is on the local levels that we will continue to remain vigilant and for these next 4 years and beyond. So next slide, please. And so with that, we are planning our very first Revival of Reason. Over the years, Black Nonbelievers has hosted a number of events and programs. We celebrated our 5th anniversary in 2016. We co-hosted the Blackout Secular Rally in 2013. We co-produced the Women of Color Beyond Belief Conference from 2019 to 2022. We embarked on BNCCon the first time in 2017. We just finished our 7th Cruise Convention. So we have been doing a lot of work and a lot of community engagement and a lot of advocacy and representation for our community. So we have partnered on this revival of reason, which is sort of taking on the lens of, you see your religious revivals, particularly your Christian revivals, that usually takes place over the course of 3 days. There was a lot of, there's a lot of Christian programming, there's a lot of coming together, a lot of food, and just this celebratory lens of what it means to celebrate God or Jesus or whatever. But we're doing this in a secular way because we always contend that religion does not have the monopoly on fellowship. It just but has a monopoly on socialization. It does not have the monopoly on community gatherings. And we need to reclaim that. And we need to also continue to disrupt that narrative. So it will take place in Atlanta on the south side of town from in tomorrow at the Oasis Event Center. There will be we have secured a hotel room block. The page is now live on our website. You can scan the code to get to find out more information. We will have student discounts available. Some of our featured speakers will be Chris Cameron, Candace Gorham, who has spoken with Atlanta Freethought Society previously, Durante Lamar, who is an up and coming former pastor and up and coming content creator on YouTube and building a digital community. He's also been featured. Everyone that you see here has been featured on our live stream. Also, Cynthia McDonald, who is also a member of Godless Gospel. She is our affiliate leader for our Chicago group of Black non-believers. Also is a huge advocate for reparations and justice. And Nikki G, who is a religious trauma coach, religious trauma recovery coach. So there's a lot of good activism that is taking place among Black religious, Black atheists, and Black humanist demographic that is important for us to showcase the narrative. And we welcome everyone to come, everyone to support, because we have so much to celebrate. Our organization is we've been around since 2011, and even through the yes, keep it right there, Steve.
Okay, hold on. To the people on Zoom, could you please mute yourself? Be sure you're muted. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna have speakers, we're gonna have workshops, we're gonna have we're gonna have a dance where we're gonna do what we do as Black non-believers and as we represent our culture and as we represent free thought, humanism, and evidence-based advocacy and justice. Because we want to come together to celebrate each other, support each other, and and also strategize on how we are going to move forward. And so this absolutely needs your support. We hope to see so many. We have established a coalition here in the Atlanta area since our inception, which has been so fantastic. And I'm hoping to count on everyone's support, whether it is on Zoom and definitely here in person. So definitely look up the Revival Reason, the homecoming. It is going to be a celebration. It is definitely a celebration of those who are still finding our organizations and folks who are deconstructing those religious beliefs and finding more of us, knowing that there's more availability now than ever. And that was because of those of us who you could have told me when we first started that we would grow to where we were. Because I thought about what it meant to be liberated in my identity as a humanist, as an atheist, and as a skeptic. And the more we speak up and the more we just raise our voices, that gives others the encouragement to do so as well as hopefully get them involved. So, and also to, inform about what is going on globally. So I had the opportunity to visit Lagos, Nigeria for the first time for the first ever African Free Thought Music and Arts Festival. that was put on by Dr. Leo Eveway and his team. Shout out to everyone who is tuning in. We featured Dr. Eveway here last year in partnership with the Atlanta Freethought Society. You really, when you understand how our position impacts people across the globe, hopefully it encourages you to support our work because that information is important and the work that is being done globally does need to be supported. So we will be definitely be, be strengthening our collaborations with the organizations across the diaspora, across the African diaspora, across the world, because there is an awakening across the world. And it is important that we are not just being made aware of that we are actively engaging. Next slide, please. So, of course, many of our organizations this is the end of year. We just passed Giving Tuesday, which comes after Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And so that is the official day that nonprofits push to get the end of year campaign started. I would like to ask each and every one of you who is in this room and who is also on the Zoom to consider your financial support for Black non-believers. We are going to be transitioning into a membership structure to improve on our efforts and to improve on our work and there will be access to discounts to our events, the opportunity to vote on officers, and also to have exclusive access to community members and special events. And it is open to everyone. But in the meantime, we definitely need your financial support for our work. Because if if you didn't get these sense of what I just said right now, we're doing a lie. And it takes work and it takes people to step up, to volunteer, participate, and also donate. More importantly. So we are asking for your support. There is no amount that is too little to support our organization. And so you can definitely scan the code there or just visit our website at blacknonbelievers.org. We just recently added, even though this option was available for some time, if any of you use Zelle, which is a free service, we are on Zelle, and our email address for that is on our website. It's donations@blacknonbelievers.org. You can definitely support us via Zelle, via Cash App, via PayPal, and all that information is on our website and also, of course, in person today. And the shirt that you see me sporting proudly is on our merchandise table, along with some of our hoodies. It is that season, it's getting cooler. So if you don't already have, a nice, comfortable hoodie, here in the Atlantic area, sometimes the temperatures are mild. So you don't necessarily need a big coat, but you can always put on, wear a hoodie to keep yourself warm when needed. So there's the option right there. And also we have some shirts, we have some koozies and mugs, and you can also sign up for our email list. We have more information about our organization. We have stickers, we have some giveaways as well. So please do not walk away from here empty-handed. Next slide, please. And so with that, I'd like to extend my sincere appreciation from everyone who represents our board, everyone who represents our leadership team at Black Nonbelievers, all of our partners. Again, I appreciate Laura, Steve, Ed, who is on the Zoom, Michael, all of you who I've had the opportunity to, and Mark as well, everyone who I've had the opportunity to work with previously and currently, and those of you who I will be working with in the future, especially with AFS. And for everyone who isn't as familiar with Black Nonbelievers, definitely get to know who we are. We will continue to press forward and move forward in the future. You will definitely see more of us, and we hope that you will join us for one of our future events, particularly the Revival of Reason in March, since it is local. So Thank you all very, very much. And at this time, I think we have questions. So
Question.
thank you once again.
Yes. I had a question. With the event in March. What is the venue? What is the location?
It is called the Oasis Event Center. It is by South Lake in Morrow. So it is right off of exit 233 of I-75.
Yes.
So it's a very, it's if you're familiar with the area, you have South Lake Mall, you have the movie theater, you have a few shopping plazas, and it's there, and it's also more accessible. It's you can take the bus there. It's not train accessible, but it is accessible by bus. And so one of the things that we are looking to do, that we will need volunteers for, is to help shuttle some folks, perhaps from the airports, those who will be flying in. The hotels that we booked will be near the venue, but we will be looking to help people carpool there. It's a very short ride. So we will be looking to structure that so that it is easily accessible for it is also disability accessible for those who will need assistance. There's not a lot of stairs to climb. There's plenty of parking. And it's free. So we're also looking to incorporate a service project of some kind. So right off the 75 in Morrow, depending on where you are, and if you know anything, of course, most of us are in Atlanta. For those of you who are new, I apologize in advance for our traffic. It's bad. It gets it's terrible at times. So if you are local, it might be beneficial for you to even stay on that side of town near the event, so that you don't have to so you don't have to fight traffic.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay. Well, that's fun. If you wanted to, you could book yourself for the hotel nearby, probably,
Yes, we will have that link available very, very soon.
or just commute there from your home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have early bird pricing that is available. It includes all meals. I like to be inclusive. Most conferences and most major events don't take into consideration building in meals for attendees. Many conferences can get very expensive, and I do acknowledge that even the cruise that we do can incur like costs that people have to consider. That's one of the reasons why we plan it at least a year in advance. It gives people time to budget. And also with all cruises, you can pay in deposits, you can make payments on it. So we try to always be mindful. And I say this as someone who comes from an economically disadvantaged background and who also represents an organization that is still severely underfunded. So we always have to be mindful of costs. And so we want to make sure I keep that in mind for those who participate with us. So the registration is very nominal.